Pretty good.
All right.
Had to make sure my headphones were. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out as we go.
I feel like as we talk, I'm for sure gonna want to be looking at you more.
Yeah.
So
Which is fine. Which works. Totally works. Oh, here we go. And the sand begins to fall. 30 minutes.
let the games begin, brother.
Oh man.
All right. So
Okay. First podcast.
should we start with welcome?
I think so.
All right, let's take a second.
Welcome to the Well-ish podcast, sponsored by Iowa Specialty Hospital, where real life meets better health. We're your hosts. I'm Derek.
I'm Anthony.
Let's dive in. All right. Well, welcome to episode 1 of the Well-ish podcast. My name's Derek.
My name's Anthony.
That's Anthony. Yep, he said it himself. So, what this really is, what we're really hoping to talk about is, I think, just overall wellness, but emphasizing kind of the daily journey that it really is all about, right? And that's kind of why that's why we're calling it the Well-ish podcast. Which shout out our number one sponsor, Iowa Specialty Hospital. The Well-ish podcast is meant to be about wellness in real life. I think is kind of what we're hoping for. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Wellness in real life. I think a lot of times, especially with social media right now, we think about wellness and it gets it's a lot. There's so much you could be doing to be better off, but it doesn't need to be that serious. It does and it doesn't. It's like you mentioned, it's real life. Real life just takes away that, just makes it more approachable, I feel like. And that's, I think, our goal here is to make all this stuff approachable and talk from our own experiences too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, I think for me, when I think of wellness, it really comes down to, how do I feel? Do I feel good? And if I do, then isn't that the whole point? I think it's really, really easy with social media to see a million different images of what wellness looks like, but overall, that's them. That's not you, right? And I think it's super important to remember that how you feel is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel good? And if you do, then you're doing something right. And so I think it's just trying to emphasize yourself.
Yeah.
In the wellness space.
Yeah. And not that we're trying to bash on, necessarily everyone that's on social media.
No, of course not. There's a lot of awesome people out there that are doing great things.
Yeah.
So,
and it's just a glimpse into their life, right? Mm-hmm. It's good inspiration, it's good motivation, but it can't necessarily translate exactly into your life.
Yeah.
I could go on there and just post about all the good things that I'm doing, but there's also things that I could be doing better at. And I think that's what we're here to talk about, kind of talk about, what habits do we currently have in our life, but also how do you make change and how do you add better habits? And do they need to be these big changes or can they be small? Right?
Yeah.
I think more often than not, they should be small.
100%. And wow, what a segue.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I think everyone should take note of that. That was fantastic. So, topic today, little habits, small habits, and how important they are and how they lead to big changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
And so I think to start, to me, I think maybe it's really important that we kind of keep this a little bit about habits that we know. And I think for me, as I think about small habits, little habits that kind of add up, I feel like that is all about things that you can manage and trying to make sure that as you're picking and let's say like starting a new habit, right? And you want to start eating more vegetables, right? So what is a small version of that habit? Because the big version is, all right, now I'm eating a serving and a half, or cup and a half, 2 cups of vegetables, whatever it might be, at every single meal, and also my snacks are veggies, and oh yeah, I also make a smoothie for myself after my workout that has veggies in there too, right? That is an example of a massive habit that you're trying to change. And so it's like, okay, great. You want to make that shift, that change in your life. How do you make it sustainable? How do you make it something that becomes not just something that you do for 2 weeks, but something that is you forever? And so it's like the little version of that habit is I love making eggs in the morning for my, like, that's one of your favorite things. Great. All right. I'm also going to throw a handful of spinach in there. Little habit, little change. Wasn't hard, right? It's different than what you're used to. If you don't like spinach, do something different than spinach.
Mhm.
But like, it's like that little thing that you can do that's not a huge challenge, but it is a shift, and you do it every day. And now you're having eggs with spinach, eggs with spinach, eggs with spinach. Now you're someone who has spinach every single day. You are someone who eats a vegetable every day. And then as that habit becomes habit, now you can add another one and you say, all right, let's add another little habit. What do you think about adding tomatoes to my salad?
Mm.
Perfect. Or adding, we're making a pasta dish. How about we slice up a zucchini and throw a zucchini in with our pasta?
Yeah, I mean, I love all that, right? Like, I think about one thing that came to mind was, like, think about, like, lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and all these different things go into your lifestyle. One, from your example, is nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Nutrition is a part of your lifestyle, and your lifestyle is also the, like, nutrition you put into your body. So, if in your first example, if you go and try to change every part of that nutrition aspect, like, into your day, that's also changing a huge part of your lifestyle, which
Yep.
is daunting and impossible, right?
Yeah.
Most
It's
people
not going to
can't do that,
happen.
right? Yeah. But using some of the science is like in your second example of adding spinach to your eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I think a good way to go about this and adding things is looking at like what are some current habits you have,
Mm.
some current habits that are in your lifestyle.
Yeah.
What additions can we get there or
Yeah.
like use to um, increase that,
Yeah.
right? Um, I often use this in transitioning to like weight loss because we're both registered
Oh,
dietitians.
that's true.
I
We
should
are both
mention that.
registered dietitians. Yep.
Yep. And we work at a weight loss clinic. I'm a weight loss specialist. But when I talk to patients, a lot of times, try to like make it more understandable. That's what we're trying to do here. Is
Mm-hmm.
you don't get to the weight that they are at or the weight that you are at just because you gained X amount of pounds over. Let's just use the numbers. 50 pounds over one day, right? It was probably 50 pounds spread out over 15 years or whatever the case is,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? So small additions.
Mm-hmm.
So how I like to talk about it is that's where your baseline is currently. In order to maybe lose weight, we're going to want to make small additions.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you keep growing, but the weight comes down,
Yeah.
right? Like here you are, you got here because you added stuff. We can't just go back in
Yeah.
time. Let's add some good things, but small things and try to make it one at a time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
I think too, like, I think about, I think about my own health, health journey, trying to, I like to exercise. That's a big part of my life. And so when I do get on, periods of time where it's like, all right, I'm working out more consistently, and I enjoy that kind of stuff. Like there's like that little shift, right? Of going from, all right, how do I end my day at work, to now it's my day ends at work and I'm going to the gym, or my day ends at work and I've got some sort of preparation involved. I've got a plan. Here's what I'm going to do. Or recently, one thing that I enjoy shooting hoops, right? And so it's like, to me, that's an easier entry point into going to work out, is like, all right, first thing I'm going to do after my day at work is I'm going to go shoot hoops for 20 minutes. And that's my warm up, right? Like finding a way to add something that you like, but is also in line with your goals,
mm,
right? Because I think that's a really important part of making these changes, is like you've got to kind of reduce the barriers a little
mm,
bit, right? And so going back to my scrambled egg example, one of the big barriers is having breakfast in general, like eating something first, right? You can't just go from nothing to spinach, right? Or so that might not be the best place if you're not eating breakfast. That's probably not the best place to all of a sudden say, all right, now I'm going to go have a food that I normally don't have, right? Like,
absolutely, yeah.
so it's like these little changes, these little habits that if you can just start to chip away at them, like, all right, first thing is get myself to the gym. Just get there, right? And then shoot some hoops, have some fun, listen to a podcast, jump, put some music on, right? You don't have to always jump right into like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna get my perfect warm up, get my weights on there. It's gonna be a big challenge. Like, and for some people, that's super exciting and they love that, and that is the first thing they want to do. But it's just like breaking it down into these little things.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's so much wrapped in that too, like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot I wanna unpack with you there is, one, talking about specifically, like, the basketball aspect of it, like, that being a part of your warm-up or being your warm-up
Mm-hmm.
makes it, like you said, more approachable. You
Yeah.
enjoy doing that,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you see some things and, like, you need to do this specific warm-up, and before you do this lift, and it makes it, like, incredibly challenging. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're coming from a place of not doing any of that,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden you're trying to, let's say, I don't know, you want to start strength training,
Sure.
right? But you have to add in the 20-minute warm up and you don't know what to do with the 20-minute warm up and you also don't like doing it. Like
Mm-hmm.
basketball is a perfect replacement there.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want you to kind of maybe talk about a little bit more too is
Sure.
like, what if you get to the end of that 20 minutes and you're like, I really just don't want to lift or run today. Like
Mm.
I'm done, or I'm just going to play a little bit more basketball and
Mm-hmm.
then be done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that okay?
Absolutely okay. Because number one, if you are in the middle of a tight overtime game when you're shooting hoops by yourself, then you got to probably go win the game before you can be done, right? You can't just like be like, oh well, all right, we're tied and that's it. No, you got to go you gotta go finish the game, hit that 3-pointer to end it. But no, I feel like that's where in those moments when you start to hit that, you're like, okay, I don't even know if I want to go lift weights today. That's where you found your moment of okay, the habit that I like of doing basketball, we've hit that. Now I have to, what's my next little habit,
Mm,
right? I've done a little habit of getting to the gym. I've done a little habit of doing something I enjoy to get warmed up. Now it's okay. How do I get myself over to the weights section? How do I get myself out on the track? How do I get myself doing, my hit workout that I had planned?
mm,
Maybe that's not today, but you can go try one pull up.
yeah.
You can go bridge that gap,
Yep.
right? Just get it started. Say, all right, you know what? I'm playing basketball. This has been fun. I'm ready to be done. But I know I had, some sprints planned for today out on the track. Like that was the plan. I was going to go do, 600-meter sprints. That was the workout. All right, man, I really don't want to go do one. Do one or do a 50-meter sprint and see how you feel.
Mm.
And don't count yourself out of that workout until you've at least bridged the gap.
Yeah. And I think maybe another way you can bridge that gap, I like how you talked through that, is also maybe like, how can you translate whatever you're gonna do after back into basketball, right? Like using
Oh, there you
using your
go.
example, right? Like
Yeah.
let's say you're tied, whatever, with yourself,
Mhm.
and you need to
Yep.
shoot that three
Yep.
pointer, but you just can't make it, and you're gassed. Well, maybe that makes more sense as to why you want to go do some of those sprints.
Mhm.
Or maybe you realize your lower body just can't handle it anymore and you need to go do some squats or some sort of
Yep.
glute exercise, something
Yep.
to really put that power into the shot, right?
Mhm.
um but that therefore allows you to put it back into something you enjoy
Mhm.
and hopefully makes it easier to start something to kind of better that, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of closes that loop, you know.
Mhm.
You've talked about this before in the past, like that loop of habits, like
Mhm.
to do something, the best way typically to go about it is, like we talked about, starting with something you're already doing,
Mhm.
adding to that, getting some positive reinforcement,
Yeah.
which therefore makes it the next day easier to get started again, right? And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And it's stringing together little habits, little changes, little things that add up to a big one.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can, it's it's really about finding that point of entry, right? Think about if you got a great sandwich, right? You're about to take that. You have this great sandwich, right? Right, and I'm sure
Whole wheat bread,
whole wheat bread, whole wheat bread. We've done some. Maybe it's like some shredded chicken from the crock pot. We got a nice.
chipotle mayo,
Oh, that sounds pretty good too.
doesn't it? Yeah.
But you're looking at that sandwich. You're like, where do I start? Where's my first bite of that sandwich? You don't take a bite of all bread, right? No, you're gonna get the one that's got the perfect ratio, the perfect entry point. That's what we're looking for with little habits.
Mm,
Find the perfect entry point. Find that spot that's like, this is not gonna be hard. I know I'm gonna enjoy it, and all I have to do is just a little bit more.
yeah. I I love that example, but I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate because I think that's what we're
Mm,
here for,
yeah.
right? Like, what if you just get so caught up in finding that little entry point that you actually don't pull the trigger or
Mm,
you don't take the step,
yeah.
the leap into taking that bite or to
Yeah.
taking on that new habit, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's something that I get myself into a lot too.
Mhm.
Is like when I want to start something new, or actually, here's a good example. I like to run, right? I run a lot, so for some reason, every time when I get towards the end of um pair of my shoes, like, getting old, I need to
Yeah.
look for a new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I go down this rabbit hole of looking into all these different versions of shoes, whether
Mhm.
it's the same brand that I use, which is New Balance, shout out New Balance, or, like, I look into the new Nikes, I look into the new Sauconys, whatever the case is.
Sure.
And even though I've been buying New Balance for, like, the last 8 years now,
Mhm.
right? But the point is, like, I look at all the reviews, I look at all the new stuff, and then I kinda get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if I'm choosing now New Balance because I'm overwhelmed and I just wanna go back to and revert to what
Ooh.
I've been doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or if I'm truly choosing New Balance because it just is the right shoe for me and I really like it.
Mhm.
Um, Now I do think I choose New Balance because I like it. I have super wide feet,
Mhm.
but nonetheless, like, that's a minor example of where you can just do all the research and just kind of get super stressed out and either revert and continue to do what you're doing
Mhm.
or not start anything at all.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I totally get that. I think and this is probably the most challenging piece is you just gotta stay just a little bit separate from the things you're trying and doing. That's hard, right? Like, obviously, it's your life that you're living, so you're, like, in it. But if you can find even just 30 seconds of, like, "Okay, like, my decision was one that I made. Is it helping me or hurting me? Are these shoes better, or do I not feel as good than I did before?" Like, just take, like, 15 seconds to say, like, "Okay, what do I actually think? How does this actually make me feel?" And, like, I feel like, if you're looking at your shoe example there, it's like, have those shoes been serving me well? If yes, all right, let's stick with it. If no, let's find a new pair, right? Like, take it down to as little, like, it's just simple, like, back to the simple thing. Make it as simple as a yes or a no question, right? Where, because if you start to say, well, those could be better, the grass is always greener,
Mm,
right? And there's always going to be that moment of, wow, these shoes must be better. Well, they're new. So, course, right? And that's the same kind of thing with, like, that I think we see we see a lot of people who there's this aspect of starting, they'll start eating a lot of vegetables, they'll start eating a lot of fruit, a lot of protein, doing a lot of really good stuff for their body, and they immediately see some change, and then it stops, right? And they're like, well, wait, why? Like, well, it was like because it was new. And so now we fall to the level of our systems, we fall to the level of our habits, right? And so if your habit is not to go choose fruits and vegetables, healthy fats, proteins, not to go move, not to go to the gym, not to go climb a tree, do cartwheels, like all those things that, like, make people feel good, right? If that's not your system, then you're going to fall back to the level of your system, and you'll stop feeling as good. You'll stop feeling that progress, right? So I
yeah.
I I think that's important to remember is, like, has those have the like, we fall to the level of our systems and so those little habits is what adds up to your system.
Hmm. Yeah. I think, that's when we start talking about, like, the psychology of all this too,
Mhm.
right? Like, um, one thing I want to talk about is maybe the Iowa weight loss. We have here nurse practitioners, dietitians, but also therapists, because
Yeah.
going to the point of changing your weight, you have to change a lot of your lifestyle and therefore a lot of habits,
Yeah.
right? But it's not just as simple as exercising more. It's not just as simple as eating less.
Mhm.
And it's also not just as simple as working on your mental health.
Yeah.
Like, all three of those play a factor, right? So how do you utilize all three of those to either reduce your weight or, I mean, I think that goes to every habit though. Like,
Yeah.
there's always multiple factors playing a role,
Mhm.
right? So how do you encompass everything? And I think the whole point and the way you get to that is taking those tiny steps,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So then, therefore, you're gradually working into all those areas, and you're
Yeah.
kind of unpacking that too,
Yeah.
because you might not know at the start,
Mhm.
which is okay to
Yeah.
have some, uncertainty and curiosity.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. So anyway, the psychology of it, like when you're changing things too, going back to like reverting maybe to wherever your baseline is or
Yeah.
those previous habits,
Mhm.
maybe we should look into that a little bit more. Like, why are you doing that? Or okay, why are you choosing your
Mhm.
so-called bad habit? You
Yeah.
know, why do we have to label it a bad habit? Maybe you started it when you were 10 years old because it made you feel good in the moment.
Mhm.
Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean, I don't. I think it's kind of scary thinking back to those things. And we're going a little deep on that end, but the point is the a good way to approach any of these changes, adding a new habit,
Mhm.
is starting small.
Yeah.
Just keep, like you said, keep it
Yeah.
simple.
'Cause I think the goal I mean, yeah, because the goal is to establish a new baseline. To establish a new thing that you're like, "Hey, this is who I am now." And so when things are going crazy in your life and things are haywire and you've got vacation and kids and like, all this stuff, your system is to go choose good foods to move your body and like your de-stress option might shift to all right, I'm just going to go, be outside, whatever that
Hmm.
means. Maybe my de-stress option becomes take my dog for a walk or a run or my gosh, there's so many options. I think we all, it's also like it's your life, right? Like it's your life. What are the things that you like to do? And that's how you establish your new systems. To try and shove somebody else's systems into your life, like it just doesn't it's not going to work because what's the like there is no right answer to like what's going to make you feel best as a human.
Hmm.
Like the only way for you to figure that out is to live your own life. And so it's just you have to you have to keep in mind that there are some guidelines, right? Sitting all day and then not moving at night, that's going to lead to you not feeling great. Choosing cookies, cakes, candies, soda, not drinking any water, that's not going to make you feel great. You don't have to eat a specific food to feel awesome. You don't have to do a specific form of movement. You just have to move. And I think that's like that little change of like, all right, I'm moving. Okay, what does that mean for you? It doesn't matter. Whatever you want that to be. Hopefully some of it makes you sweat just a little bit, right? But like I think that's important to remember too, is like everybody's kind of got their own thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think you can a couple things. One, like the only way you learn or the best way to learn is through your own experience,
Yeah.
right? So you aren't going to get
Yeah.
that by trying to take someone else's experience. Like you're going to have to maybe adapt that, fail, and then
Mhm.
realize what little part works best for you,
Mhm.
right? Um, and another thing is going to the point of not having a lot of time because we all live a busy life,
Yeah.
Um, for whatever the reason is, we feel like we got to be moving fast, being productive. And when we aren't
Yeah.
productive, then we feel bad about ourselves, whatever the case is. Um, where can you fit that in?
Mm.
And then also, do you ever just like audit your time? Like, I think that's a lot of times I have this conversation with patients or other friends, whatever
Mhm.
the case is like, do you really know what you're like doing during your downtime? Like when you are sitting at night, what are you doing? Are you on your phone? Are you watching TV? Are you enjoying time with your spouse, your friend, whatever the case is?
Mhm.
And how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Because when we are moving through things so fast,
Mhm.
do you really understand how that is like
Mhm.
making you feel? Or are
Yeah.
you just seeing the end product where you're sitting there and like, man, I got to make a change? Sometimes reflection can really help with finding that starting
Dude,
point,
that's the
finding that point to take that bite.
that's the word that I was gonna bring up was reflection. Like that's with my patients, like that is the thing, is reflection. Like that to me is at the end of the day, like as a dietitian, my job is to help educate, right? That's at the beginning of a relationship with a patient. But then after that, my whole job is to help facilitate reflection. Like that's it. That's what I do. And so to me, it's like find a way to start doing a little reflecting. And again, start small, right?
Mm,
It's a small habit. You don't like. I feel once again, it's come back to you know the small habits and little changes. Like if you're like, okay, I'm gonna start a food journal. I'm gonna start a food journal, and I'm gonna start keeping track of what I eat. Okay, first of all, kudos. That's awesome. Keeping track of what you eat is really cool. It's gonna be a challenge. It's hard. It's a whole thing to add into your day, whether it be a written journal or one that you use on your phone, something like that. Like now all of a sudden you've added a whole nother step. So that can be challenging. So sometimes I'll say, hey, pick one day. Pick one day to do your food journal on. That's gonna be helpful too. Even if it's not every single day, it's gonna be helpful. And then also when it comes to the reflection side of things, I feel like so often it's like, all right, I got to sit down. I got to take 20 minutes every day to start journaling and putting all of my thoughts out on paper. That's incredible. If you can do that, that's awesome. It's not going to be sustainable if it's something you've never done before. So take once a week, take a Saturday morning and take 2 minutes to sit and think, all right, how did I feel this week? Okay, I liked it when I did that. That was a fun workout. Done. Reflection done. But now, just like that, you've revisited this fun workout that you enjoyed. Probably thought about a food that you liked that you're like, I can make that again. That's not bad. Perfect. And now we've started seeing those little things again, those changes. You're like, I was proud of that. I was proud of that. I was proud of that. Just like that, you're proud of yourself.
mm, yeah, and it goes back to that positive reinforcement. It makes it
Mhm.
easier to do the next time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, oh, there's something on there that I wanted to double click on. Shoot, I apologize. It skipped me. But it kind of like I was thinking about this last night. We are at the grocery store,
Yeah.
and
As one does.
yeah, exactly on a whatever Tuesday night. It's awesome shopping on Tuesday nights. No one's out.
Mm.
Anyway, we're thinking about like we're trying to revamp our like our dinner options,
All
right?
right. All right.
And I feel like we go about this in a really good manner.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I mean by that is, and most people are this way. A lot of times I see this is like usually within 7 to 10 days, people start to recycle their dinners, or they eat the same
Yeah.
thing Monday through Friday for dinner. Like it's a consistent option, and my wife and I were on the same page or the same situation. So we're trying to add something new, and I'm like, we're just looking to add one meal. We aren't looking to like add a whole different week's worth of meals.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna change one meal, and if we like it, I'm gonna save it in my recipe uh, bookmark on my phone, right?
Yep.
And if we don't, I'm not gonna save it. But then it's just like an easy. I added the recipe because we liked it. We tried one thing, which is pretty easy for us to digest and like think through, right? You go to the grocery store, buy the specific food items,
Mm-hmm.
cook it that night.
Yeah.
It takes a little extra time, but we ended up liking the recipe. Therefore,
Okay.
I saved it to the bookmark,
Okay.
and now it's within my recipes that I have, so we can just go through and say, okay, what do we want to have tonight, or what
Okay.
do we want to have in a couple of days? Like I have it right. Um, and I mean, I know I'm kind of going down a little rabbit hole here, but I really just trying to give like an example of
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
just add one thing. I'm not going to go and try add something next week either
Yeah.
because that wasn't the point. The point was just to try one more thing.
Now I gotta ask, what's the recipe?
Yeah, so it's actually oh, it's a gluten-free chicken breast
Okay.
with a lemon pasta, basically like a lemon creamy pasta. I can't remember
Okay.
the title of it.
Okay. Okay.
Super delicious. And then I did fried tofu with it.
All right.
So, you beat down the chicken, and then
Sure.
you dip it in the flour and the egg and then the breadcrumbs, and you just put it in olive oil
Okay.
on the frying pan. And then I did the air fryer for the tofu. And then we had this pasta dish and did the lemon pasta dish. It
Yeah.
was like 5 ingredients: penne, pasta, gluten free.
Gluten free.
Um, the reason it's gluten free is because my wife eats gluten free.
Sure.
Just so everyone knows, I'm
Yeah.
not just choosing that just because. Parmesan, lemon. We did half and half. It called for heavy milk. And then what was the fifth ingredient? Just garlic.
Tofu.
No,
Oh.
that's no. So we made it separate, right?
Oh,
So you
gotcha.
fry
Gotcha.
this
Gotcha.
stuff over
Oh, so that was your
pasta.
sauce.
Yeah. So
Oh,
anyway,
that sounds
yeah,
pretty good, man.
it was
I gotta be
so
honest
good.
with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
lemon creamy
All
pasta.
right.
Mm,
All right. We've been looking for a new recipe, so
there
we're
you go.
gonna
I'll send it your way.
toss
I
that one
have
in
it. I
there.
have it saved.
Here we
I have
go.
it saved.
It's perfect. I wanna see this out. You gotta send me your recipe book, man.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton on there. Oh, I also so here's a good maybe something we can talk about is like I have the bookmark recipes.
Yeah?
I also have a Google Drive with different recipes.
Oof.
So it's not like this is all fine tuned by any means, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have like a really great um, organization process for this,
Yeah.
but I know where to go look for recipes when we want to go back to something we liked.
See, I feel like I need something like that because this is my Google Drive right now, and so sometimes I'll be, like, trying to plan out what our meals are gonna be, and then I'm like, "Man, what do we," and then we end up going back to old favorites because those are the ones that I remember. So
That's what it was. So that's actually what I was going to talk to or bring up was talking about like I like to think of like investing when I talk about food journaling a lot of times with
mm,
patients. So I usually say, give me 2 days to 2 weeks. And it depends on the person's like
sure.
motivation, right? For food journaling. But invest that time,
Yeah.
whether it's 2 days or 2 weeks, think of it like an investment period. Give me 2 solid days of everything you eat from the time you wake up
Mhm.
till the time you close your eyes. And if you eat throughout the night, then make sure we add that too, right?
Yeah.
But then from there, let's audit it you know?
Mhm.
So make that
Yeah.
investment and then audit your finances. Like, what do you like? So once you kind of, I guess I kind of skipped a step. So after they do the food journal, they learn about what
Mhm.
they're doing and goes to your point. Like they're kind of understanding and reflecting on what they like, maybe what they didn't like and the pattern that they have.
Yeah.
And then when they come back in, that's why I'm like, great, you did that investment part. Now we're going to add in maybe another investment or audit. But either
Mhm.
way, we're going to add numbers to it.
Yeah.
Because if we're, I mean, using the weight loss example, I just want you to put numbers to it one time, whether it's for that 2 days or
Mhm.
2 weeks. And then after all this, you kind of have a better idea of portions, why you're
Yeah.
doing things, what you like to eat, maybe some things you actually don't like to eat, but you just
Mhm.
have it in there for whatever the reason is. And then just start auditing it from there.
Yeah.
So invest and then just check back in.
Yeah.
Are you still like keeping up correctly? Are your portions still within range, or are your eyes deceiving you?
I like that. I like that a lot. Find some small takeaways, right?
Mhm.
Just find some small takeaways. I think that's something too that, once you get to, like, you're cooking food and you do it every day and it's something that is part of your life, which, adults, that's what you do. And so I think that's you become a quote unquote professional at making your food and preparing your meals, and some people are super professional about it, other people maybe not as much, which is fine, right? Whatever level you're at is what level you're at. And so then I think it becomes something where when we offer the education piece, like, people go, "Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that too." And I think that's what you find as you get to a point where you're no longer, and I feel like I've been talking about this a lot recently, is like there's learning mode where you're in the process of learning a bunch of things that you have no idea existed prior to the learning, right? And so that's usually when you're in school. Maybe it's through high school, maybe it's through college, maybe it's beyond. And then you kind of flip out of that learning mode, right? And so then for the most part, you're kind of existing in a space that you already know and understand. And so it's going to be challenging to find, like, big gaps in your knowledge where you're like, "Oh, I had no idea." And so then if I start doing all of these things that I didn't know about, now I'm going to be really healthy. Well, no, you probably already know most of the stuff, right? Because you exist in the world. So you're going to see things like, I know fruit and vegetables are good. I know they're good for me. I know I'm supposed to get lean meats, right? Like, okay, perfect. And so it's like those little takeaways that, like, you stumble on that your food journal could lead to, where you're
Mm.
like, oh, that's a little takeaway that I can then check in again when I go back to, audit myself every once in a while. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what was that takeaway? That was the thing that I didn't understand that I was doing that I now know. So I got to check in on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it actually made me think about my own personal situation now where like, I like to try and add new good habits and try
Mhm.
better, like to help better myself and reflect, right? So I really try to journal. And for a while there, I did pretty good.
Mhm.
I was journaling almost every night, pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Um, And then like started to fall off a little bit. But during that time, I was meeting up with a friend, and we're just I was talking about it, like, "Hey, do you have a journaling practice? Like, do you journal?" Because I figured that he would. And he goes, "Yeah, but it's only once a week, and I really kind of only do it to kind of like set goals for the week."
Mm.
And I think this goes to your point of like, oh wow, I've never thought of journaling. Like, makes it a little bit more approachable for me because I'd like to
Yeah.
set many goals,
Yeah.
right? And I might do some reflecting during that time. It's only once a week that
Mm-hmm.
I'm setting the time aside, not every night. Yeah, I know.
Good
So like,
goal. Yeah.
I should definitely I've started to kind of try and do that. I still put pressure to try and do it every
Yeah.
night, but I've gotten better about just
Okay.
once a week, Sundays, and that could work with food journaling too. You
Yeah.
know, going yeah, you
Yeah.
mentioned that. But the other thing is the reason why it was so challenging for me to
Mm-hmm.
add journaling every night, and I really had some resistance. I think that's a good word to talk about is resistance
Yeah.
towards it. Was I have this night routine, and we can probably talk about routine too, so resistance and routines. Nightly routine where like I want to be in bed by a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been reading, so that's something I've been added in about a year and a half ago now, and I've been doing very consistently every night. So if I already have this routine, that means I have to start to get ready for bed at a certain time, brush my teeth, all those things, wash my face, and then I get into bed and I want to read for X amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Where does journaling fit in? So how do I fit
Yeah.
that in? Now I have to maybe, start to get to bed earlier
Mm.
or stay up later, which therefore takes time away from my sleep. Like there's all that those resistant thoughts that
Yeah.
come into play. So it makes it so much more approachable by doing it. Oh, I could do that on Sundays.
Yeah.
And I could easily get the same amount of sleep and just start a little bit earlier because it's only once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Keep it small. Make it consistent. Like that's to me the formula.
And one last thing I think, is don't try and do it overnight
Mm-mm.
because I think that goes to the big impact part.
Yeah.
Like the longer you start making that small change,
Mm-hmm.
you add in those small investments,
Mm-hmm.
the bigger the impact will be in the long run, and then you'll find your own routine.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to like, you can't just take someone else's and try and put it into your life. And also it's okay if it's different,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
going to be different.
Yeah. It's your thing. It's your thing. And just find what works, and if it stops working, try something new, and just keep putting small things in your life that make it better.
Boom, boom.
All right.
All right.
I think that about wraps up episode 1 of the Well-ish podcast. I guess thanks for tuning in, and um, we look forward to maybe interacting with you guys on social media a little bit, and we'll uh, we'll try and put one of these out every couple weeks, I think is the goal, and um, hopefully you learn something from it. And I know I definitely it helped. This is honestly, it's therapeutic for me to sit here
For sure.
and
Yeah.
talk through these things, and it helps remind me the importance of those kinds of things in my own life. So
Yeah.
thanks for chatting, man. I really appreciate it. This was awesome.
No, thank you. And if you guys have any questions or ideas for us, please send it our way. Suggestions, like we're here to one, learn,
Mhm.
but two, like we want to make this enjoyable for the listener too. I mean, this is enjoyable for us, so that part's already checked off.
There you go.
All
There you
right.
go. All right.
Appreciate you, man.
Perfect. Yep. Sounds good.